They'll do their technical skills on the resume, and they got all these cool tools on here. But when I get to their job experience, it's not there. So I'm like, you can't just put these buzzwords on your resume.
Because when they ask you questions about them, scenario based or problem based,
before you even get to the interview, if they not listening nowhere else, you get axed out.
Yeah.
Because you just found one popular, threw it in there, and you have no proof of concept. It spawned from a tweet Bees made where she was telling people that essentially, it's basically like starting off in your career, the Security Plus will do more for you than CISSP. And then
why are we mad at that?
because people don't understand things at all.
I'm sick of people. What's the word where a whole bunch of people is it called dogpiling?
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I'm sick of people dogpiling on her. Literally.
Yeah, but on top of that, and then she went on just to say, hey, CISSP with no experience means nothing. And so one of the things that I actually did, and let me see, I'm going to try to pull my tweet up and put it right here. But I was talking about, because you can actually get the CISSP without actually having official security jobs. If you got experience in some of the domains, you can sit and pass the test. And then if you get somebody endorse you, you can get your CISSP. So I know people that don't really have experience with the CISSP. Let me see, where is it? Because everybody was coming on this thing all day, and I was like, bro, y'all trying to argue with me for what?
And it's not nobody's saying it's not important, but early in your career, please focus on some experience and some projects to get you in the door.
Well, here we go. I got my thing right here. Let me go to the screen share screen on here. Windows capture. All right, so I pretty much told everybody, now that I have some downtime, y'all got mad when B said getting a CISSP without experience won't get you anywhere. Then I told you that you can get a CISSP without security experience. In screenshots below, you will see a person who was a teacher recently, has her CISSP and CISM, but she can't find a role. And I was told everybody everything's cropped out because I'm not trying to poke fun at her, but show y'all that if you listen to the tech vets versus always want to be right, you can learn something. So on here, you'll see that she has the CISSP, the CISM, cybersecurity analyst, and she has her master's of science, cybersecurity, and information assurance from WGU. And so one of the posts that I went to show some stuff she said, after years of building a security and compliance background alongside a full-time teaching career, I'm actually looking to make the transition into cybersecurity full-time, and I love help from my network. I hold the CISSP, the CISM, the GSEC, and CompTIA Security Plus, and CISA. First of all, this is a bad sentence. You was a teacher and you wrote the sentence. And CompTIA Security Plus, CISA, and Pentest Plus certifications. I recently completed my master's in science and cybersecurity and information assurance through WGU. My applied coursework includes authoring a system security plan, tracking POAMs under NIST SP 853, and hands-on vulnerability scanning with Tenable, Nessus, Qualys, and Burp Suite. My professional background includes assessing risk on technology changes, maintaining audit-ready compliance, documentation, and briefing leadership stakeholders regularly. Plus, earlier internal audit and asset control experience where daily, quarterly audits protected sensitive PII and regulated documents. I'm targeting GRC analysts, compliance analysts, and cyber risk analyst roles, and I'm especially interested in companies and government contractors, either remote or in the Hampton Roads area. If you know of any opening, a hiring manager I should talk to, or you're open to a quick 15-minute conversation about your team's work, I genuinely appreciate it. Happy to return the favor for anyone in my network, even though I don't really advocate for that. And I also showed that she completed these last year. Now, people saying, well, according to the post, she got experience. I'm like, that stuff is not in her job.
First of all, the exposure that she has is all over the place. It's not in one particular niched area. It's all over the place. Yeah,
that's why she's trying to go compliance route. But the other thing was that doesn't show up as her work history. She said professional history outside of being a teacher. Mm-hmm. And I know who this is because I might still follow her on TikTok. I know she was out here for a minute. And I remember I wasn't even coming at her the wrong way, but I was like, I was looking at her content. I knew she was a teacher. I said, hey, how are you teaching people how to get security plus stuff like that? What's your background? I mean, granted, you are a teacher, so you know how to do that type of stuff. But I was like, y'all be teaching stuff, but y'all don't really have no practical experience. And I'm validated, not trying to be funny, I'm validated by the fact that it's having a hard time because I just think that's too many certifications
that's what
for
I just
a master's.
No, and they're all over the place. In pen testing, CISSP, CISM, Security Plus. I can't remember what up like. And then she done vulnerability scanning, CISSP Plus. It's a lot going on there.
Yeah. So one guy in the comments said, it's also how they're branding themselves. In my opinion, if I'm looking at a candidate that has a CISSP, I don't care about the applied coursework. What value can they bring to the business? And I said, blame the school they went to. Some guy commented and said, you're kind of proving the opposite point here. She never said she has certs with no experience. She already has professional experience doing risk assessments, compliance, documentation, yada, yada. That's literally GRCE. You're misrepresenting what she said. And I said, that's not present anywhere on her work experience. I also used to follow a redacted person on TikTok. They literally just got in the game. And another guy, I think he'd been in there for a while, he said, the whole cyber industry is going through a major shift. Credentials and experience aside, the market is like a bad sci-fi TV movie with earthquakes, tornadoes, and tsunamis all the time. People with 20 plus years are finding it hard to navigate this market. And I said the people with 20 plus years experience don't have competitive skills, and they got complacent, and this is a different job market.
Ate them up. I mean, I'm not mad at what she said. I'm not mad at it at all. It's irrelevant and not of value to you if you don't have any experience to back it up. And the whole point of you getting it is because you have the experience and the exposure to back up going to get it. And now you're saying I can go lead. You know what I mean?
Facts. And so one guy said, as someone who has interviewed and hired a lot of people, CISSP without experience becomes apparent very quickly in the interview process. Also, there's a ton of GRC folks without technical background being replaced with SEC analysts who actually understand the technology, that part. Somebody actually had a good point. They said, I feel like she had better luck finding a role. She doesn't mention her master's or CISSP, not going to lie. And I agree, because when you're overqualified, you're trying to apply to those.
I forgot about the master's. Yeah, that's a lot.
Entry-level roles, it's going to be tough for people to want to,
because they're already judging you, kind of.
And I think in schools, when she should have did, and I think that is like when you got those remote first schools and you don't have that's why I think remote, it depends on how prestigious the university is. But let's say, for instance, like at least you were remote. But if you wanted to, you could have went to Irvin.
Yeah, for sure.
And you knew that they had a presence in the area for people to get hired.
Yeah.
See, when you are at a school that's primarily remote and you're not there to the school, there's nowhere you can directly go to say where their presence is unless you go move to the area where that school is. I think the school is based in Utah. I did enough resumes for WGU. I think it's like Mill Creek, Utah or something. So if you're not going to move there, now you're competing with everybody else. And of course, you can go look at the alumni, but the caveat about most WGU alumni is they were already working in the field when they went back to WGU. Mm-hmm. So that's the tough part. I would advise her, and I may even send this to her. I hope she don't take it the wrong way. I probably would advise her to remove some of the certs, especially from the resume.
I would too. You need to be very specific about which roles you are applying because it's a lot.
Yeah. I would say remove some of the certs, remove. You can try
CISSP
without the
plus,
masters too if you want
CISSP
to.
plus, Security plus, system.
It's
great.
too many. It's too many.
I think with her vulnerability management, she should keep CISSA on there. And she should keep the CISM.
I mean, that's fine.
Wait, what is information security?
Yeah,
that one?
that's fine. I would tell her remove CYSA. You can keep Security Plus, but remove Pentest Plus, CISA Plus. They are not related. So it's taking your resume all different ways. Like that's why it doesn't really make sense to mention it because it don't really matter. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. But this was just a way to actually like just show people like, I get it. Like there is a different game, but getting a lot of certs with no experience, no internship doesn't usually work the best. Because at least if you did get an internship, you can say, hey, I worked at an enterprise before and I did X, Y, Z. This is the things I ran into. When you don't, and it's not listed on your page, it's hard for us to say, yeah, you're telling me that, but I don't see it anywhere. That's what I tell everybody when it comes to like, they'll do their technical skills on the resume and they got all these cool tools on here, but when I get to their job experience, it's not there. So I'm like, you can't just put these buzzwords on your resume.
Because when they ask you questions about them, scenario-based or problem-based.
Before you even get to the interview, if they not listening nowhere else, you get axed out.
Yeah.
Because like you just found what was popular, threw it in there, and you have no proof of concept. And then, like I also say, with your projects and stuff, sometimes, a lot of times with those projects, they are only done once. They're done in the coursework or the lab. It's just a lot of different stuff that people are doing because they're listening to like too many different people, and you just got to listen to me. But I'm just saying, all in all, that it wouldn't hurt y'all to listen to the people who've been here doing it. That's all I would say.
Yeah.